Welcome everyone to another session of the Product Management View webinar series. Every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, product management professionals can pick up the latest in thought leadership, tips, and tricks. As a consultant with MICA, Russell Horowitz draws on 14 years of experience in the high technology sector and now assists clients with their leadership and organizational development needs. Prior to joining MICA, Russell held the position of Senior Product Manager at Spectrum Signal Processing, where he successfully launched a range of software radio products into the defense and government marketplace over 3 years. With that, I'll pass it on to Russell.
James, thank you very, very much for the introduction, and to everybody here on the call, thanks for joining us. I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about my journey through product management, and essentially I would like to provide some tips and things that you guys can use today, tomorrow, short term, to help you with what I think is one of the most challenging jobs out there. Firstly, I'll just tell you how I got into product management, and you can see if some of you perhaps have similar stories. But in the company that I worked in, it was one of those revolving door jobs, I think. People lasted 6 months to a year perhaps, and they were gone, usually under a cloud. I'm someone who is a bit of a glutton for punishment, and I used to look at this and go, you know what, I'm not happy with some of the decisions being made around here. I think I need to go and get my hand on the steering wheel and see what I can learn in a job like that. And so I started volunteering and being an acting product manager for about 2 years, and eventually was asked to be a full-time product manager, and that's what I did for the last 3 or 4 years. And I expected that I would learn things like business skills, how to conceive products, and you know what, I did learn those things. But the thing I learned the most was about how to work with people. In my opinion, this is a people job. It's a leadership job. And those are some of the things that I want to try and impart today. When I boil it all down and I ask myself, what am I supposed to do as a product manager, this is what I come up with, this description on the top here. Essentially, put the right product on the shelf at the right time, at the right price, with the tools in place that allow sustained commercial success for the organization. The people who take the product off the shelf are your sales force, people like that. But this I see as what a product manager is ultimately responsible for. And yes, there are a lot of key tasks that go along with that, some of them listed over here. Most of you are probably familiar with the product management framework from Pragmatic Marketing, and that lists probably a more comprehensive list of what those key tasks are. So a lot of us get into it because it's a chance to learn, it's a chance to drive the organization. Actually, it's a pretty sexy job description, in my opinion. It's a lot sexier than being someone who's a specialist at, I don't know, C++ programming or something like that. You really develop amazing skills in product management. And I would be surprised if most of you didn't get into this because it looked like a place to learn and a place to have your hand on the steering wheel. Now, when I go around and ask people how is it going, I stood in front of a group of about 50 product managers just a few months ago. And I asked them to ask the person next to them what their biggest barrier was, and then to report back to the front. And what I heard was not things like, oh, I don't know how to gather requirements, I don't know how to do this, don't know how to do that. I didn't hear any of that. These are the kinds of comments that people tend to come back with. People being swamped, fighting fires all day. Organization doesn't understand the job, or sales is driving the strategy, or there's some person in the organization that's making all the key decisions that they just have to live with. Things like that. And folks, all of this, in my opinion, is about influence. These are all of these things can actually come together as one increases one's influence. I know a product manager very well, and one particular individual who had a lot of this kind of thing going on. And what he said to me eventually was that he had given up.